Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason, and while it's still the end of January, it is time to start thinking about buying your garden seeds for the year. And that's something we're truly passionate about, is growing a lot of food, because we like to eat good food, so we want to grow good food. And so we want to talk to you today about 6 varieties of vegetables that you're missing out on if you don't grow them this year. Honestly, for us, one of the major points in growing a lot of food is that we want to grow foods we can't get in the store. And honestly, I know you can go to farmers markets and get stuff. You can go to the grocery stores, got varieties of stuff, whatever, but you're not going to get the best varieties of these vegetables in the grocery store. It's not possible. You can get some lettuce, okay, but it's all the same and kind of junky. You can find green beans places, but it's going to be all the same style of green bean. You can find squash, zucchinis, you can find tomatoes and peppers. You can find all these things in the store, but the varieties that you can buy online, the varieties of seeds you can find and plant and grow yourself, are so much more flavorful, and they're so much better producing than what you can get in the store. Our first variety of vegetable we want to talk about is this Ragged Jack kale. Now, let's see, I know people are going to be like, they either love kale or hate kale, right? To the kale yes or kale no, right? But like, this kale is totally different than anything else you can get anywhere else. Now, it's a form of a red Russian kale, but it's not red Russian kale. Okay, I'll show you again. I've actually really truly only found these at Baker Creek, rareseeds.com. It's just different. We've bought a red Russian before that we thought was going to be like Ragged Jack. It wasn't. Ragged Jack kale, it can grow bigger leaves, but the leaves, no matter what, are more tender. They're not as tough, they're not as thick, they're not as strong of a kale flavor even. We've grown this thing for years now, and it's just amazing. And they handle the heat well. They just handle the conditions very well. Like, we can grow it early in the year, we can grow it in the middle of the year, we can grow it late in the year. It handles every condition well, and it's flavorful. It really is good. And Angela Kay makes a brilliant kale salad with it, and because of how she treats the kale, so it's different too. But like, it's honestly, if you think you don't like kale, try it one time and let's find out. It's a huge producer, and if you have chickens and you don't like the kale, I promise you the chickens will love it. So no matter what, you can find some benefit from it. The second variety we want to talk about is this little Gim Butterhead. Okay, you're missing out. If you like to grow lettuce, or you like to just eat salads or whatever, and you're not growing little Gim Butterhead lettuce, it's so good. We grow it in our Greenstalk, okay, and it's just, they're small, compact heads, loose heads. It's got a wonderful, amazing flavor. Now, I mean, it does grow into the year a little bit, but like any lettuce, it's probably gonna bitter a little bit as it gets hot. But this handled the conditions pretty well all the way up here. I think we got it some in June. I think all the way up into June, it handled the conditions really well. So it did really good. Heavy producer, great producer. Grew simple and super easy in our Greenstalk. Now you'll see here in this Greenstalk where we had some lettuce planted that the 3-degree temperatures destroyed. But we'll just show you simply how we did it. We just put a few, I think I may have put up to 5 seeds in a pocket. That way we could thin what we didn't want, and what didn't maybe germinate as well, and just plant it all the way around. We probably wound up with 2 or 3 small heads in each pocket. But in a Greenstalk, that's awesome because there's 30 pockets in there. So you could literally grow a whole lot of lettuce, probably easily 30 heads of lettuce in there, small heads of lettuce, and still have room for other things. Now, incidentally, we are affiliates of Greenstalk, and there is a Greenstalk sale going on, okay, right now. So right now, I think through the end of the month, if I'm wrong, we'll put the dates down below in the description. But there's a sale going on. You can get I know you can get a 7-tier leaf planter for like $50 off. Okay, we have a code you can use our link in the code in the description. You'll get $10 off of that even. So it's a really good time to buy a Greenstalk. A lot of different colors of Greenstalks are out right now. Red, blue, black even. A lot of things you can't find all the time are available right now. So if you want a Greenstalk, you want to grow a lot of herbs and lettuce, especially for a leaf planter, because that's what leaf planters are good for. They're shorter layers. Do it now. Great price on them. So head on over to Greenstalk, get you one if you want to start growing a lot of greens and herbs. Another variety of vegetable that we love is it's zucchini. Okay, And I know you think, oh, we can find a zucchini anytime. Look, it's just not the same. And I know people aren't, again, like kale, some people just aren't zucchini eaters. Like my mother, you think you can just put it in bread. That's not the case. This right here, that's the Romanesco zucchini. It's an Italian variety, heirloom zucchini, that is delicious. Now the Romanesco may not be as heavy a producer as you would like, but there are other Italian varieties, Italian heirloom varieties, that do produce more. And what I'm saying to that is like the Romanesco is my favorite flavored one, but they're milder, they're very useful in a lot of varieties besides bread. Okay, use them with pasta, make dishes with them. Zucchini goes great with sausage, actually. Okay, it goes, so that's one too. But like, there's just a lot of preparations for it other than that. It's super healthy, super delicious. You cannot find anything in the store other than the plain old dark green zucchinis that are probably overly flavored, too much zucchininess to them. These are much better. They're just more delicious, and you're controlling what you take in. You're growing it yourself. There's a sense of pride and accomplishment in what you're doing. Try those zucchinis. Okay, there's a Palermo. I think one's called Palermo, one's Genovese, one's like, there's even a gray zucchini. It's not gray, but it says gray. And there's just a lot of really delicious zucchini varieties out there that you're not getting anywhere else. The next three varieties we have to talk about, we don't have seed packets of because either the packets didn't have a picture or we just used them all. We don't have them on us right now. But one thing is, it's a green bean called the Tar Heel bean. Okay, it's another old variety of green bean. We grow them on two teepees right here last year. We planted two fairly large teepees of them, and I think we got like 23 quarts of beans just off of those two because they produce so heavily. They are produced heavily, handled the adverse conditions really well. Like if it got dry, we had to water them, but they handled the dryness better than others. And they produce all year long, so that like where the bush bean, they're going to produce one good round in 60 days and be done. Those produced all season. So all the way up to frost, we had them. They're delicious, a much richer bean flavor. So you can say that one, or my other one would be North Carolina long greasy. No matter what, they're still an old variety that it's hard to find. Okay, and you're gonna pay a little bit more for the seeds, but they're worth it if you love to grow and eat delicious green beans. Another vegetable that we love to grow is called a white Dixie butter pea. Now there's several varieties of butter peas. White Dixie happens to be our favorite because it's not prone to getting rust. There's like a little rust that the peas and beans can get on the bottom of them. They don't get it. Other varieties we've grown haven't gotten it, and while they're all delicious, the white Dixie butter peas seem to be a heavier producer and not get that rust at the bottom of them. We grew them right here last year. Okay, we planted just a good thick row right here last year, and they're phenomenal. Honestly, one thing about it is they like heat and drought, so that's why we put them on this side of the yard. As this side gets hotter, it gets the western sun. They can handle drought. Now, if you're like, especially in the deep south, so if you're in the deep south, you may have actually heard about them before because it's grown more in the deep south, but they love heat and they love drought. Like you don't have to water them a ton because they just power right through it. They're super nutritious. You can make a meal out of some butter peas and some cornbread. Plenty of protein, plenty of vitamins and nutrients inside of these things. Just such a rich, glorious flavor, and you can't really find them anywhere. You can't even find butter peas in the store at all. Like I think I've seen one company that produces that sells frozen vegetables, bagged frozen vegetables in the store that make butter peas, and you can't find that brand across most of the country because it's a southern brand, and so you can't find these anywhere, but you can grow them almost anywhere. They are amazing. I would suggest anybody to go buy white Dixie butter peas. We found them at like, biggest place to find them I think is Hoss Seeds, Hoss Tools. You can probably find them other places. I think there's some sellers on Etsy that have some and whatnot. But the white Dixie butter pea is amazing. Now, again, there are other butter peas, but it's not a bean, it's not a lima bean, it's not a pea, it's a butter pea. It's kind of a cross between everything. And they're delicious, nutritious, And if you happen to get in a situation where you're starving to death, if you had some butter peas, they'd keep you alive for a long time. Our last variety is something that we just love growing. We like to grow dry beans of any kind, really, but the Jacob's cattle bean, we grew it last year for the second or third time, I think. It's amazing. Like, great flavor. It's a unique look to it. We don't have the packets of seeds to show you, but maybe we can pull up some footage. We planted 2 small packets of seeds last year down here in the bottom end of our garden. So, like, if you don't remember or not familiar with us, the bottom end right here of the garden doesn't get a ton of sun. Honestly, it gets mostly shade. It's not a great place to plant stuff. When we laid out our garden, we wasn't fully aware. It's been years ago, and we've learned a lot since then. But, like, also trees have grown over a little bit, so it's shading it more. But it's not a great place to grow a lot of food. But we put them down there just saying, you know what, whatever we get out of them, we get out of them, and it'll be fine. Well, they produce wonderfully. I gotta be honest with you, I could have planted 4 or 5 packs of those seeds and been super happy with them, because they were a great growing vegetable. Even in the shade, it worked out fine. So I'm a proponent of growing them. It's a dry bean that you're not going to find anywhere. It's got this like mottled burgundy maroon color. If we got pictures of them, hopefully we can show you. But they're delicious. They're going to make a really good like baked bean. You can probably put them in chili or whatever too. They're just good, and it's something you can't find anywhere else unless you find it in your backyard. So that's what we're talking about here, is growing food that you just can't get at other places because your options are limited. If you start growing it yourself, your options aren't limited. Here's a throw-in like this right here. This is a little pot of rosemary. It's an evergreen. It probably got destroyed by the really cold temperatures from last week. But fresh rosemary, you can easily grow in a container or anywhere in your yard, really. And it is so much better than any kind of rosemary you can get in the store. So that's a throw-in, that's a bonus of an herb. Growing rosemary is an amazing thing to do. And it's just a little evergreen. Looks like a little miniature pine tree, but it grows wonderfully, and it can overwinter in warmer areas, especially. We've overwintered it here before, but it's awesome too. So there you have it. Grow your own food. If nothing more than just a hobby, but like, your options are better. We were designed to grow our own food. This earth was designed for us to operate in it and grow food and provide for ourselves. And we're given that innate ability to do so as well. The food's better, it's more delicious, more flavorful, it's better for you. Just do it. You'll appreciate it and you'll love it, and you'll be happier for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.